Hey, and welcome to my next video. This is about making a acid style bass line with Cubase, Retrologue, the StepDesigner and the Chordtrack. I already put down a drum beat with the 808 drums from Halion. This is a beat I borrowed from the German Keys magazine website, keys.de. Let's listen. So the first thing we need when we want to do a acid bass line, we need to have a synth. So we take in the instrument track and Retrologue. And whenever you open up Retrologue, it will be in initial state. That means init Retrologue. That means it's reset to its default. The 303 is a synthesizer that has only one oscillator and is monophonic. So what we need here is the one oscillator. We turn the octave down one and we put it into mono. Mono in this case means it's monophonic. That means you can only play one note at a time. You cannot play multiple notes or chords with a monophonic synthesizer. It's not like in mono or stereo, what you know from Cubase or you know from the stereo set left and right. It's monophonic. The next thing we need is a low pass filter. It's 24 dB per octave. Technically speaking, the 303 is something between 18 and 24, but 24 will do. Let's just listen to this. You hear the sound. Now we turn the cutoff very low down, and we can use also the resonance to get, well, a high resonated sound up to self-oscillating. The trick in the 303 is that you have the ADSR set up this way, that you have no sustain and you have the decay, short decay time to change the filter. So if we go to envelope and put this up so that it will follow the envelope, then you can hear it. You see, like this. So the filter will open whenever I turn the decay up. So that'll do for now. And the next step is to make the bass line with a StepDesigner. There is a MIDI plugin, a MIDI insert plugin called the StepDesigner, which is well, a kind of step sequencer. So we go here on the Retrologue sound to MIDI inserts and select here the StepDesigner. Okay, let's open it. It's here behind that. Okay, what you can see here is a grid. On the left side you see the octave. We go down to the one octave between C1 and B1, and then we randomly can put some notes in. So just randomly put some notes in to make the bass line. Let's listen to this. So this is the random bass line. One trick in the 303 is to modulate the resonance, the cutoff, and also the glide. I forgot to put that on here on the Retrologue. You have the glide, and I go back to that later on. Now you have in the StepDesigner the possibility to have 4 different MIDI controllers: the velocity, the gate, which is the length of the note, the velocity is the volume of the note, and 2 other ones that you can select. I use the ones that are already here, and here in the bottom line you can insert the value of the controller. So now I want to Retrologue to react to the controller on the cutoff. So what I do is I put this in here, oops, some values here, and go here on the right click on the cutoff frequency and learn CC. CC stands for continuous controller. So if I put on learn on CC and play it, you can see that here the cutoff is changing. Okay, the next step is to make the resonance be controlled by the next controller. So I turn to next controller. I have first get all the entries off from the first controller, because if I go on learn continuous controller on the resonance and it's there, if there's something in there, then it will learn the same as the cutoff. So I have to turn everything off from the cutoff. Then I go to the next one, the second one, go here, okay, and resonance, learn CC. Okay, now you can see that the resonance is reacting on the controller here. So the idea of controlling the resonance and the cutoff is to make some changes in the setup or some changes in the sound. So just let's listen to the sound and change the controller values for cutoff and resonance. Okay, that'll do for now for the bassline itself. So now we have our bassline that we can control the cutoff and the resonance, and we can work with that on the whole song. But there's another trick we can do. We can copy that over to a track to do some more changes in the bassline. So if you look at the MIDI insert here on the left side, StepDesigner, you see this little dot that's called record output to track. So we can record this now to the track. Okay, so we go to the top and record on the track. Okay, so now we recorded it on the track. And if I turn it on here, if I edit it here, you can see not only the notes, but you can see also down here that we have the different controllers. If there's an asterisk behind the name of the controller, it means that there's something on the controller bar. So you see the values I had in the StepDesigner. Technically, you can also work with the StepDesigner for the whole song. So what's the use of copying the track or the notes over to the track and all the controllers? This is because I want to use some audio tracks to make the song. And I want to make more changes than I have in the StepDesigner. So I put on an audio track here, an extra audio track, a piano. It sounds like this. I put in some random notes in the bass line, so I don't know if the notes fit. And I'm too lazy to analyze the chords of the audio track to find the right notes. So I'm going to use the Chordtrack to change that. Let me first listen to the bass line and the piano together. Okay, there in the second part there's something off. Let's go here and let's look at the notes. And here up there we have the Chordtrack. And on the Chordtrack, when you select the Chordtrack on the left side, you have to turn off automatic scales. And then you can put in here the scale you are in. I can see from the audio file that it's in A. So I have to put in up there, I have to put in A. And then the bass will follow the Chordtrack. So we go here to A major because it's at A. And if I go now on the Retrologue, let's see the Retrologue, and okay, like here, okay, on the Retrologue here, and I go on the chord here, chords, and tell him to follow the Chordtrack and scales. You can see that the notes are changing. It will analyze the chords and then the notes were changing here. And now the notes are in the scale of A major. Okay. So as another example, I have another line here. This is a more modern, one not piano, a synth line here. This is down here. Let's see. Yeah, this is wrong because the bass is following the A major, but this is in F sharp. So I have to change this to F sharp. Okay. And because I changed it here, I have to change it again on the track to follow scales. Just turn it off and turn it on again so it will analyze new. Okay, let's see if something happens. So this is the basic idea of working with the StepDesigner to make a acidized or a acid style bassline for the Retrologue. This is how I showed you how to make the sound very quick and easy in the Retrologue. Yeah, be inspired by this. I hope you are inspired by this and you will find it useful. Experiment with this, experiment with the glide, experiment with the resonance and the cutoff. And I hope you had fun with this video. Thank you and see you next time.